Africa Day 2017 will be celebrated on the 25th of May, and this celebration is coming at a time when Africa as a continent, with 54 African countries having the assertive space and place, and not only influencing global development, but also influencing the discourse. But we are 17 years into the 21st century, and the continent of Africa is faced with a barrage of shocks ranging from food insecurity that is currently ravaging and affecting the continent, with 240 million Africans going to bed hungry. Ecological degradation that is costing the continent $68 billion every year. And worst of all, climate change that is already redefining the contours of the continent. But though these challenges may seem insurmountable, there is one that, if it is not addressed, the rising Africa cliche will continue just to be elusive, and this is the youth boy. The African youth today, currently above 200 million, have 60% unemployed youth across the continent. However, the youth could actually not only turn to be a dividend, but could help to ensure that the rising Africa become a reality. As the African proverb goes, it is the young trees that make up a forest. And what this means in the context of the African continent today is that the rising Africa will only be sustainable and become a reality when the youth actually drive the progress. And as we celebrate the African Day, it is very clear with the theme that the future is in our hands, that the youth takes center stage in its development. But there are ways to do this. The tech-savvy youth of the 21st century, especially here in the African continent, can drive development and influence policies, can ensure good governance, and to ensure this, they have it in their palm. They can use their mobile phone, which most of them are internet-enabled, to change the discourse in terms of policy, to engage policymakers, to engage politicians on aspects that are very crucial for the continent. But to do this, there are three things that I suggest that a youth should take into account. The continent of Africa has 65% uncultivated arable land, 10% of internal renewable freshwaters. And the continent of Africa is blessed with abundant sunshine more than any continent in the world. But these represent what is called Africa's catalytic sectors, which, if unleashed, because we need to move from talking about potential to talking how we can be able to convert that potential for the collective benefit of all. On this African Day, the youth must start with the first point of looking at how they can use their tech savviness to influence policies that can unleash the potential in the agricultural sector by utilizing clean energy, the solar, the abundant hydro potential in the continent to add value to what is produced, so that it can reverse the 35 billion that the continent is using to import food, and actually exporting employment and importing unemployment at the time that 60% of the youth are unemployed. Use the tech savviness to be able to engage through Twitter, through online platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, to engage policymakers to start changing this trajectory. The second is, Africa is a continent of abundance. However, there is an African proverb which goes that a man doesn't meander away from where he's roasting his corn. Africa's corn has been roasting in these abundant areas. And on this African Day, the youth should be able to take the mantle and actually do so using a formula which I call innovative volunteerism. Offering your skills, both physical and non-physical skills, your partnerships, your networks, geared towards a common objective of looking at how Africa can unleash the potential in agricultural sector, which is done in a way that is not working against the environment, but works with nature, and adding value to what is produced through clean energy and connecting to markets using information communication technology. If this is done, 17 million jobs will be created, and an agro-economy worth $1 trillion in less than 13 years will be created. This is where the jobs will be. And agriculture, if done effectively, managed not against the environment, can reduce poverty 4 times more effective than any other sector. Manufacturing won't do, services sector won't do, tourism won't do. But you are the generation that can be able to ensure that we don't only talk Africa in the future, but we talk Africa in the present, and the present is the youth. And thirdly, innovative volunteerism is the only ingredient that is embedded in our DNA. Through utilizing our skills, we can be able to drive not only influence in policy. Through utilizing our skills, we can be able to come together and actually articulate not just from a policy perspective, because the reality between vision and implementation is action. The reality between vision and reality is action. So let action through innovative volunteerism be our watchword. Let action through innovative volunteerism be the songs that we need to start singing in the continent. Let action through innovative volunteerism become a melody and a tune. And therefore I'm asking the youth of Africa to not only ask questions but answer them, to use your pens and to use your phones to tweet about Africa, write about Africa. I grew up herding goats in a small western part of Cameroon, small village in the western part of Cameroon. And when I finished university, I couldn't go to school, and I went to school without shoes. But I spent years volunteering, and it is through this volunteerism that I got the best skills that I'm utilizing today. You have the skills. You can volunteer to reshape the African continent. And in this western part of Cameroon that I come from, there is a saying that better little than too little. But what you can do, you can get the little. But it is never always easy to do so. The future is in our hands, and therefore let's use what we have to ensure that the present can help define the future. It's all in our hands.